And I believe I'm live. Howdy, folks. It's your boy Metal. Tin Man Tactical and Apparel podcast and YouTube's coming to you here. Back for another Sunday BS sesh, guys. Back at it again. Damn, Daniel. Back at it again in the white vans. Right? No. Bad dream. What's up, man? Welcome. ACR. What's up, brother? I was just talking to you. I think I just heard another from somebody. Wait, what is that? That is, that's episode 61 of the Tin Man TNA podcast. Just got posted to the Spotify's. So that is actually a really cool episode because I was able to grab the audio file from Whiskey Wednesday this past week and on the whole Weather Wizards thing. Yeah. And I put it up as the podcast. So that way, all the silly sallies on the podcast can actually listen to it. Robert Ham, welcome, sir. So, yeah, it was an audio file I ripped from the video and was able to get that onto Spotify for episode 61. Tried to record an intro with the music and all the cool stuff with Hoist the Colors and my song I made, but it was doing that kind of stuff. So it didn't get spliced. I spent 3 hours working on the computer, working on the internet, working on all kinds of stuff. And howdy, Sister Krista, welcome. Trailer's coming along very nicely. Can't wait to see the sign on it and it in operation for you. But yeah, technology is not liking me anymore. And I don't know if it's because I've got more gray in my beard, I have less hair on my head or whatever. I used to be really freaking fantastic with it. And lately it's just been thumbing its nose at me. So I'm just trying to do the best I can with what I got. Any weasel. Didn't really have a topic of discussion because it's just a BS sesh with the old boy here. But dude, I'm not even in like a dead zone. I'm like on the edge of town here, and it's like everybody around me, like, oh, all their stuff works perfectly fine, and mine just like you say, that hamster on that wheel. I think mine's only got like maybe 2 legs and it's dragging its back. I don't know. I've replaced modems. I've replaced stupid freaking coax connectors. I've replaced barrel connectors and wall plates. I've removed splitters and replaced splitters. I using, coax cable TV internet, using broadband internet. Not like I'm using a 5G signal or a 4G or a hotspot or Starlink or satellite internet. It's regular old freaking cable internet. Bobby B, welcome, sir. Welcome. Got to have a eventful day yesterday. Got to go see our oldest daughter, my son-in-law, and grandbaby number 1. Got to see the Cam Delory den. And yeah, Pop's got to build some new bedroom furniture because little Dynamis Prime is getting her own big girl bed and her own big girl bedroom before her little sister comes. So now they're going to have the nursery for Punky, and they have the big girl room now for Squish. So I had to set up the dresser, like a 5-drawer dresser, finest quality made in China. It actually wasn't too bad. It just took a long time to build because a lot of little pieces and stuff with all that hardware, how they have like the twist lock things and all that kind of crap. Just took a long time. And yeah, I got a shelving unit made for her and big 5-drawer dresser for her and all that stuff, and reinstalled her owl camera and all that kind of thing. And yeah, I got to spend time with them, but we didn't get home till like almost 11:30 last night, and I was dead. I was ready to go sleepy. I need to do something here. Boom. A boom. A boom. Robert Ham and Bobby freaking B. You guys need to have a little color added to you. So there you go, fellas. You got your blue hammers. I don't call them rich. I call them hammers. Call them hammers. Hammer! Got to make sure I don't bump a bottle with that sitting down there. That would not be a fun time dealing with that kind of cleanup. It falls over anyway. What the hell? I need a new pen too. So Friday night, ACR was talking about the zebra pens. I love zebra pens. They're amazing. I don't have any anymore. Somebody borrowed, like he was saying, they borrow it and then you can't track it down. Yeah, they borrowed it and didn't give it back. So for like my throwaway stuff, like when I'm writing the podcast or writing notes or anything like that, Pilot G2s, they're the cheap throwaway ones that actually write pretty nice. I use these at work every day. I use the shit out of these and I buy them in bulk because I write a lot. I have like a perma bump on my finger because I write so damn much. You are quite welcome, Bobby B. It is necessary. One of the brothers. Got to throw you in there. Quite welcome, fellas. And let's see. What do we got? 12, 13. Well, I've been playing around with all this stuff here and lost track of time and was trying to get the podcast taken care of before I jumped on here. So I was a couple minutes late and starting my live, but you guys understand I'm already working on this stuff. But yeah, it's been a heck of a morning. Got up, dove into this thing, worked on it for about 3 hours. Playing around with stuff, trying to tweak stuff up. I mean, PC's running like a freaking dream, but everything else is just like, nah. So whatever. Anyway, yeah, getting a bunch of other crap taken care of here today too. I know I have people waiting. And you know, good things come to those who wait. And sometimes if you're waiting on me because of technical issues, I'm going to be late. In life, I'm never late. I'm always the early guy. When it comes to technical shit, it always does something to me. But ACR, I do have it here for you, man. Got the pucker powder. It stays ready right here. I have like a bunch more upstairs if need be. I can go get the Costco versions, the big industrial size. No, it's not. It's not the router at all, Robert. I'm hardwired into it. I am Ethernet the whole way to it. I know it's good Ethernet cables because I installed them myself. I made the ends myself. I ran the cables myself. Been doing that stuff for most of my career. I've ran data tests all the way to the router. Everything from this computer, where it's connected right down here in this little blue connector, all the way through. Savage, welcome, sir. The Ethernet, the whole way through to the router. Perfect. Try different ports in the router. Have a brand new router. I have replaced every connector and wall plate in all of the coax, all the way out to my what's called an OPB, which is the outdoor premise box that the cable company installs. That they have their ground block in and they run the ground wire down. And yeah, I have everything all the way out to there. Brand new and beautiful. Brand new and beautiful. I've told them they need to adjust their tap. They don't want to listen to me because I don't know jack about nothing, apparently. When I used to have to go out and adjust taps for people because of these issues. Yeah, they aren't really helping me with anything technical on that end. I have gone through and I've gotten rid of a bunch of different stuff on this computer. I have defragged it. I have done, you name it. I have gone through Microsoft and made sure everything's high and tight. I have gone through my drivers. I have gone through my internet cards. I've literally gone through everything on this beast. Everything except the tap out there. Doesn't matter what PC I have hooked up here. I have borrowed a laptop and tried to run it and get into my stuff, and it does the same crap. I am logged in occasionally, like I experienced earlier today, which made me do all of this stuff. Yeah, I was logged into Riverside, working on the podcast, doing editing and stuff, and trying to get that all worked up. And I lost connection to the studio from here to the studio, and I'm like, that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be at all. So yeah, when I look on my phone, if I try to do anything from my phone, if I'm on Wi-Fi, which I have beautiful freaking screaming signal, like full signal on the Wi-Fi. I can do speed tests on the Wi-Fi from here. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm getting a full speed and everything. Like 17 millisecond pings. I don't know if that means anything to you guys or not, but it's a very fast connection to the server. In gaming, that's awesome. I can game like a freaking champ on this with the PlayStation. Yeah, I have an older PlayStation PS4. I can stream 4K. I can actually stream 5K on my setup out here. But besides the point, I can hook it all up on a different laptop. It'll do the same shit. It's just stupid. Savage, I don't have to zip tie it. I have all the keys because it's an industry thing. I have all the Terminator tools. I have the security sleeve tools. I have all the keys to all of the cable boxes. I can do all that stuff. Membership has its privileges, you know. I still have all the keys. I can go out there, but I can't adjust it because I need their meter to be able to adjust it. I don't have the one that hooks up to the tap itself to make the adjustments on it. I don't have that. I can do everything here. I can run the data cable test with my Pentascanner and all that stuff, OmniScanner, all the way out. Everything's good until I get to there. Then I'm stuck. I can get into the box. I can look at the box, make sure everything's good there, but I can't actually hook up to the tap to adjust the tap. Sucks, but yeah, I just have the PS4. I don't really game much anymore. I kind of gave it up. Jacob, welcome, sir. Yeah, I don't want to spend any money on something like that just for a one-time use. Well, probably be multiple times because they fucking suck, but J Bro, welcome, sir. Pilgrim, welcome, sir. Archangel 1776, my boy Jay. But you got the rest of you guys on here that don't know. Archangel is actually a good friend of mine here in PA. One of my statewide brothers. Like y'all see Dragon Slayer occasionally, you might see Zach pop in or something. Yeah, all my PA boys. But oh, yeah, I am just hoping that wherever this issue is, like the latest connector, like that spurred me to just replace everything, was they had a little old crimp connector that like the dielectric was sucked halfway back and it just looked nasty. And what I was thinking is, okay, well, I'm having RF bleed, and that can seriously screw your stuff. So, not having issues with RF bleed anymore because I replaced everything. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna do some testing after I'm done here and see what's going on. see if I can get a better idea of what actually is happening and go from there. Like I said, gaming, perfectly fine. Streaming movies and 4K and all that, no problem. The kids watch and do and everything else on their stuff, no issues. Only whenever the dummy sits down to do his stuff does it go, I got you. Either that or it's just the, internet overlord saying, can't have this yeehaw doing this stuff and saying this stuff because people listen to that dummy. We need to stop that. I left my door open today thinking that maybe, just maybe, one of the furry freaks would walk through and come visit. Yeah, when I was doing the work, little Peachy, she decided that she was going to come in and be all over everything. And then she left. I'm here to F shit up, and then she leaves. I thought she'd come back in and visit and be nice, but no, she's just being dumb. Yeah, like the gaming and streaming, it doesn't take a lot of bandwidth. It just needs a fast connection because otherwise you end up getting that latency and the lag where you go to like shoot somebody and they're actually over there versus over here where you're aiming, or you're over there versus over here, and there's gets a weird lag. But I've yeah, I've been dealing with low voltage and datacom for many, many, many years. And I've done everything I can. Like, if y'all didn't know, if you didn't check out any of the Warrior Collective stuff, my brother Reaper, he is actually the second guy down in an IT and infrastructure company. They do everything low voltage, and he is an administrator for the company. And like, I can tell when, I've learned a lot from him and he's checked everything out and he's like, dude, you're good. He's like, I have no idea on my end why it's doing that. So I'm hoping here at some point I can re-outfit everything here and not use the laptop, that I can have a dedicated desktop set up specifically for doing all of this. That way there is no question if I'm trying to push a laptop to do something that I need a desktop type, a tower to do. I have my servers and stuff set around here that I can hook up, but those are for other things. Those are for special other things. And today's drink of choice is the Orange Celsius, the sparkling Orange Celsius. Just because I love the orange flavor of these things. But this coming Wednesday, I will have a special guest at least here with me in beverage. Make sure you're tuning in Wednesday for Whiskey Wednesday Volume 13 for that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. But hope everybody is having a good weekend and y'all are getting in your reps and you're expanding your knowledge bases and such. Something I did kind of want to bring up. I did not have a topic for today. I just wanted to bring it up. Is for the next generation. Make sure they know how to use tools. Make sure they know how to read a tape measure, a level, how to use a straight edge and a square. Make sure they know how to measure angles and cut on angles and things like that. Make sure they knew how to do basic type stuff. And if you have a kid that's growing up and they're going to be leaving the nest at some point, teenage years even, dads, don't be afraid to take them, even if it's just a Harbor Freight, to get some basic stuff, circular saws, cordless impacts and screw guns and stuff like that. Getting basic, like reciprocating saws, basic jigsaws, basic orbital or disc sanders, basic belt sanders. Doesn't have to be anything fantastical. They have a wrench set. They have have socket sets. They have Allen keys. Those basic type things means a lot, and it goes a long way. Carpenter's pencil and carpenter's pencil sharpener. Those basic things means a lot. Make sure they know how to use those things. If you don't know how to use those things, get with your buddies that do know how to use those things. You can even, like I said, you can cheap out. You can go to Harbor Freight and get cheap stuff just so you know how to use that stuff. I'm coming to the realization that a lot of folks out there, the younger folks, the young Thundercats, there's quite a few that do know how to do all that stuff and how to use that stuff, but there's quite a few that don't. So there's another be better kind of thing is teach them how to use that stuff, hook them up with that kind of stuff. Moms and dads out there, give them the basic knowledge of how to do that kind of stuff. Even soldering. I taught my middle daughter how to solder. Taught my middle daughter how to solder. I'm an idiot. But I taught her how to do the soldering. I taught her how to run wires and fish walls, mount TVs, taught her how to do that kind of stuff. I taught her how to run a surround sound, how to hook up surround sounds, how to do all that kind of stuff, how to tune and balance them. Basic type stuff. Just how to keep things square and plumb, how to make them straight, how to even put trim on around a door, how to install a door handle, a doorknob, a deadbolt, those kind of things. When it comes to garage doors, that's a whole nother animal. And I hate garage doors because they're a pain in the ass. But teaching those young Thundercats how to do that stuff and helping them out with the tools to do those things to get started. Yeah, you may get them a Pittsburgh or whatever, Chicago power drill or whatever, one of the cheapies from Harbor Freight to get them started just for drilling some small holes, how to run, screws and do that kind of stuff. Okay, whenever they get a little bit older and they're like, you know what, this thing kind of sucks, then they go out and they buy a DeWalt or a Porter cable or whatever. Okay, they buy a name brand just so they have something to work with. Very important. Very important. Savage is we're waiting on a package with a plate carrier, dangler, cell phone holder, USMC hydration bladder. Isn't that the worst when you're waiting on stuff and it just doesn't come? It's just like slow grind to get there. I ordered a TV mount for in the theater room here, and I've been waiting. I ordered it, it was supposed to be here Monday. Finally, like, wife reached out to USPS, still hadn't showed up. It got delivered somewhere else. Well, they found out where it was, but we're waiting on USPS to do something about it, to get it, to press charges, whatever they got to do. Because they're finding in our area the mail carriers are delivering stuff to the wrong place, but then the people are hanging on to the stuff, which is federal offense. Yeah, well, get your mail carriers to do better. Actually read the name label on it and the address label, see what they're delivering it to the right place. Yeah, they can GPS find out where it was offloaded, but they can't lock it GPS. It won't let them scan it until it actually goes to the right GPS tag. I don't know. Just saying. But anyway, I reached out to Amazon. They were cool. They sent me a replacement, no cost. I just got it yesterday. The first one was supposed to be here this past Monday, still hasn't showed up. So I understand all about waiting for your stuff. So damn. ACR is absolutely correct. How to hit country song, taught my daughter how to solder. How to fix toilets and change tires. Yes. I've taught my kids how to do brake jobs, how to rotate tires, how to fix tires, how to do all that stuff. Fixing toilets is a very important thing. Saves a lot in that water bill and mess and big messes. Yeah. So changing tires, swapping out, doing your brake jobs, even just checking your oil, making sure your washer fluid's topped off, which I got to go out and top off mine in the truck. But basic things, very important. Yeah, start with how to measure twice and swing a hammer. Some people out there, they've cut it 4 times and it's still too short. Just saying. Yeah, absolutely, Archangel. It is better to know a little of everything than knowing everything about one thing. I I I can verify that what Archangel said is true. He did. He did. He was like way out. Like basic, basic, basic. You guys think Twin lives primitive? Nah. Jason lived way more primitive. Know that for a fact. But he did it. He was pretty damn good at it. He is another guy that knows a lot about survival and stuff too. I'm talking like not even backwoods survival, like the woods behind the backwoods. Yeah, he knows about that stuff out here in the mountains. Really good at it. Man, I got a tickle. And I don't have anything but Celsius. Meh. But I will think. I do think. Lawfully, welcome, sir. Good to see you, man. My wife, now Lawfully popped in here. It made me have a memory. Reminded me of something. My wife just got a new setup with a light on her G19. So I got rid of the light she had on it as a nightstand gun. I was using a Tacticon V1 Firefly on it because it has the light and the laser on it. A little bit easier controls to manipulate. Went and removed that whenever one of my homies hooked me up with a Streamlight TLR1, and she was very thrilled to have that. Now I need to get her a new holster for the G19 with the TLR1. I found a holster, not a problem. Found one. She loves it. She loves her stuff basic black. She doesn't like all the fancy Tiffany blue and pink and purple, and she doesn't like all. She likes the basic black. Even her vehicles, she likes them all blacked out, and I'm like, oh, I love you because that's my kind of jam. But anyway, um, I found with something I hadn't even thought of before to have. I've used them before, but I didn't think about like actually getting one for myself. Was there's a company, Dynamic Defense Solutions, out of Kenai River, Alaska. They actually have a podcast as well called the Minuteman Initiative. Jacob and Steven do an amazing job with the show. They do training with medical and all the Minuteman training and everything. They do that up in Kenai River, Alaska. Both of them, Jacob and Steven, are Army veterans. Um, really cool dudes. With DDS, Dynamic Defense Solutions, they make custom holsters, and their custom holsters are freaking sick. They do like an operator holster. It's Kydex and everything. It is literally like the copy and paste of the Safari Land. Like my 6360 I have, I can get the exact same thing from them, but they can do other different kinds of camos, and everything is far cheaper than what Safari Land wants to charge for their government contract stuff, right? So with that, you can actually get them with the QLS ALS system. That's what I did. I got their QLS ALS systems and stuff, and it worked phenomenally well. but they also have like different types of holsters for different things, not just the outer waistband like Safariland. They have concealment holsters, they have winged holsters, they have outer waistband, inner waist, you name it, right? They got all kinds of holsters, spare mag attachments that you can put on there and stuff. Really cool. The one holster that I didn't notice on their website before, and I found it yesterday, was called the Ghost holster. And I'll explain what the Ghost holster is, because I can't have an actual factual you. This is literally just a rubber training. It's rubber, like it's got the plastic inside. And as you see, haha, Glock, y'all gun guys get the joke. It's a joke. It's not real. It's not real. See, it's not real by any means. YouTube's. It's not. It's it's not real. It's fake. It's just a training simulator. And it has Glock written on a freaking 1911 style freaking training gun. Anyway, this holster literally comes and it covers up to like right here, like on the gun. It covers up like the trigger and the base of it. At the bottom, it has a grommet in it that it has like paracord through it, about a couple inches long, and it has a carabiner on it. So the Kydex, it covers the trigger guard, and then it has a hole there with a grommet that it hooks paracord through it, and it runs off to a carabiner. Very cool. Very cool. You want to talk about deep concealment holster? That is about as deep as you can get. We used to take them and cut them down that it would just cover like the trigger guard and everything and just slide down in like a sleeve on it. And then we did the same kind of thing when we were doing deep concealment stuff. Yeah, it's very, very similar to the Vanguard. Very similar to it. You cannot use like a flashlight on your pistol. Where these things really truly shine is in those micros and subcompacts that are slimline, to be able to deep conceal it if you're like wearing board shorts and a tank top. And you don't want to have like a 19, you don't want to weight pulling down. You have the micro or subcompact or whatever. Yeah, that thing, you basically hook it inside with that little carabiner. And whenever you go to draw, it just pops it right out of the holster because it's retained to your pants or your belt or your belt loop or whatever. You just punk and it just comes literally like holster. This sits there and it literally comes out. And even if it pulls out, it's got the paracord attached, holding it down to keep it from coming out. You get your pistol free. And it just kind of dangles there and flops, but you got your pistol out and you're doing your thing. I really would like to get one of those. Problem being is I would have to buy another pair of pistols. The company's name I will put right here. Finding a holster for appendix carry is always a task. And whenever you do find one that works, sometimes they pinch, sometimes they're a little bit bulky, and then you print. I mean, there's all kinds of different holsters out there, and they all work different for everybody else. What works for me isn't going to work for you, might not work for Lawfully, might work different for Robert, might work different for um Savage, might be different for Lawfully. Like Bobby B might have to, ACR might have to have a different one. We all have different body types and builds and preferences, and we're right-handed or left-handed or whatever. So you got to find something that's going to fit for you. But these types of holsters are for like plainclothes deep concealment. A lot of tier one use those type of holsters, especially whenever we're doing like recon and stuff like that. There would be, sitting around at a coffee shop reading a magazine or something, or standing in an airport or bus station or in a mall, whatever, standing on a street somewhere. We've used those kind of things for a long time. So, Bobby B, I know, right? It's so hard because how are you going to put plastic up against just chiseled granite and expect it to not just break, right? Yeah. So now, here's another really cool thing about Dynamic Defense Solutions, folks. Dynamic Defense Solutions. Yeah, one of the brothers, I don't remember which one, either Jacob or Steven, are left-handed. So they make all of their holsters right and left-handed. When you go in there to their website, you can actually select right hand to left hand. Optics cut, do you have a compensator? Threaded barrel, whatever. You can select all that stuff. Right-handed, left-handed. Do you want this type of mounting system for it? Do you want a 2-inch, 3-inch, one one and a half, 1 1/4, whatever belt loop size? Like, how do you want this set up? So they go and they make it right or left. They give you full customization. If you have a flashlight, if you have a light mounted, weapon mounted light on your pistol, you can go into their drop down and you can select from like tons of different lights that they will have a holster to fit your pistol with your light on that holster. If they don't have an option available in the drop down, like you're looking through and you can't find what you're looking for, if you message them with your information, what you're looking for, they will make that setup for you. Then they will offer it on the site through their company. So, say, I'm just making it up here, like it's elusive and you couldn't find it. Canic SFX Rival, but you put a goon light. I'm not familiar as much with the goon lights, but a goon light will say Model A on it, and they don't have a drop down for it. Hit up Jacob and Steven. They'll make one for it, no extra charge, and poof, you have a holster to work for your exact setup. Another company that I have worked with in the past with holsters was R&R Holsters on Amazon. I was able to find a 19X holster for my Olight PL Pro Valkyrie. I have had that PL Pro Valkyrie for, oh my word, I've had it for 4 years, and I go shoot my pistol with it on, take it on and off, charge it, use it, whatever. I've not had a single issue with that thing. I don't keep it on the charger all the time. I've had to charge that thing a dozen times in 4 years because it holds a charge for a very long time when I'm not using it. I like that PL Pro Valkyrie. Yes, Dynamic Defense Solutions has amazing service. If you're ever up that way in Kenai River, Alaska, they have training facility, they have a storefront, they have all that stuff, and they have a really cool podcast too. So check those guys out. Tell them your old boy Metal from Tin Man TNA sent you. I'm not paid or nothing. I'm not tied with them or anything, but I've emailed them and asked them questions before, and they were fairly quick to respond. So, it wasn't stuff concerning products. It was like questions about what they covered in the podcast. So, but yeah, they're cool guys, really cool guys. But that little ghost holster, I'm thinking like 43X with a dot, deep concealment. Like if I'm lounging around or going out with like the hoochie daddy, or as I call them, the camo daddy shorts, because my shorts like that are camo. But if I'm out wearing a hoochie daddy shorts and, tank top or sleeveless or something, get my cool guy stuff on, then I probably want to carry something lighter so it isn't pulling down my pants. Or I don't want to cinch them in and kill my skin, you know. So that's a good option for anybody that's looking at deep concealment that has a lot of time carrying stuff like that in those ways. Um, Great little, cool little holster. Very cool little holster. But yes, to recap, I did take the audio file from Volume 12 Whiskey Wednesday this past week because the topic on weather wizards and everything we discussed needs to be talked about more. Much the same as we're being told not to talk about the whole, Epstein crap. We talk about it more. Do the exact opposite of what they tell you to do because they shouldn't be telling us to do anything. They can't. They can't. They don't rule us. The weather wizard stuff needs to be talked about more. Sent ACR a post from Twix about what was going on in Alaska, and then volcanoes and all this. Like we were talking on Whiskey Wednesday there, he said about an earthquake. That kind of stuff is happening more and more too. So it's just something you got to look at. It's insane, truly insane. And I posted up the pictures, screenshots of the plane. I still think that's like the QC bird for that operation. I think they went in and checked to make sure they did a good enough job and GTFO. Yeah, I like what ACR said there. I like my strong side hip for outer waistband, but I do appendix carry like 1 o'clock, I like it there up and out or off my side. I like that. I do like the strong side. Gen X, welcome, sir. Good to see you, my friend. Last night about Jim Morrison, did a little research on his producer, just off his producer. Paul Rothschild, huh? Interesting. Yeah, those cats there, they got their fingers in everything. Banks, medical. If y'all ain't done the research on that when it comes to the medical aspect of things, and that family that Archangel mentioned, y'all need to look at that. And it's not like some conspiracy theory. No, it's like legit, like historical fact. It's there's nothing rooted in conspiracy. It's just fact. So check that out. Look into that family with their ties into the medical world too, because yeah, a lot of the big medical institutions and how modern medicine is practiced, not perfected, practiced. Weird, but a lot of that is because of those folks. You know what I like most about the strong side is whenever I roll her over. Kidding. In my strong hand. I'll be right back. I thought I heard one of the fine fuzzy friends sitting outside here on the scratching post, but no, I'm just hearing shit. Yeah, banking's a big one. Medical, all of that. They're deep up in it. And what I think is kind of funny is while we were watching the stuff with the that CEO dude that got caught with the HR lady or whatever at the Coldplay concert, while they're blowing that up all over the place and everything else, we're trying to get more weapons to Ukraine now and more weapons to Israel. We also missed the Genius Act being passed, pushing into the central bank digital currency stuff. Yeah, they really want that. So that should mean that we really don't want that, because anything they want to do, we want to do the opposite of. But the temperature and time of everything is like really changing. And when I talk about climate, I don't mean the weather. I mean what's going on around us. So if you hear me talking about climate, it's what's going on, not the weather. So just food for thought. I talk about enough of that stuff deep, and I get fired up on the podcast. Y'all have heard me on there. I did not see the latest terror threat report against Army Delta. I was, like I said yesterday, I was busy working on that stuff. Got home late and I've been busy here today. I've not dove into anything yet. I was texting with ACR a little bit and doing all this junk and then just jumped right in here to this. So, and it makes me wonder. People talk about the magnetic pole shifts and stuff like that. I'm wondering if like the harp stuff and like all that kind of crap and CERN and different things like that aren't coupling together to create different magnetic field waves that are pushing and pulling stuff around with all the underground stuff they do with the mining and everything else. Not even mining, creating highways as above, so below. I've talked about that before. Um, yeah, I wonder what all that, the impacts of all that actually is. And I mean, y'all know I'm a middle of the road guy. I call it as I see it. I'm wasn't for any president really. I have no tie to any of that. I deep rooted in faith in the Constitution, the founding of our country. How it was is how it should be. But yeah, a lot of the stuff going on is not cool. It's definitely not cool. Yeah, I remember we were talking about that a few years ago, Jay. We we were talking about how there's still actually gold up in the mountain streams and stuff up here, and you can't actually pan for it. So Randall, welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. Good to see you. I'm looking to see where. Nope, maybe not. Nope. Oh, there it is. Nope. Different notification. Randall, I love that well you dug, dude. That is so cool. I mean, I wish I could do something like that up here, but I don't have the availability to do that. I have free flowing water that I can tap into via bucket by bucket and pump into some type of mobile storage, but can't get a well back here, unfortunately. But if I do ever get blessed with the ability to have my own property somewhere other than right here, I am definitely exploring that. Yeah, there it's not so much rocky as it is we're up on top of a mountain. Like I'm up on a ridge. So for me to get to water table here, can't hand dig it. Yeah, I'll reach out, Archangel. I'll reach out, man. But yeah, being up here on top of the ridge, like I'd have to go way down to get water back here. Um, I'd probably have to go. No, once you get down off of our ridge, the water table isn't that far down. But with where we're at up here to try and go down, I'd probably have to go 350, 400 to get to it up here. Once I get down off the ridge, down below us to the south by southeast, we have the Castleman River. There, I got no problem. Got no problem. Like it's, you know, half mile that way. I can get to it. But, but for me and the topography here to get down, to get into the same level in the water table, like 350, 400 from here. My nephew, that's the geo engineer dude, the rock doctor guy, makes maps, does all that stuff. We were talking about it one time here a couple years back. I'm like, it just sucks. That sucks because he did the lidar and everything for here, and he said the closest water I'm getting under our property here, I'm going 350, 400 minimum to just get into the top of it. I'm like, son of a all good, bad dream. Got to do what you got to do, man. Yeah, we don't have any up here. It's all just it once you get through the soil level and you start getting deeper into it where the rock and everything is up here, it's it's a nightmare to try and get water up on this ridge unless you're getting down. Even like the groundwater where it collects, because I'm up on a ridge, it runs down and then it has like it settles in. The groundwater actually settles in down below the house to the west. Well, I can't get to that because it's off my property. It's too far out. Where my parcel of land is, I can't get to anything here, unfortunately. And yeah, the divining rods are amazing. The old Witcher thing with the stick, the Y stick. Yeah, I can do all that stuff too, but can't get a dang thing up here. No, if I go down to a buddy of mine's place who lives maybe about half a mile, three quarters of a mile back across the way to the southwest. Oh, all day long. He can do it, but he's down off of this ridge. Yeah, I have plenty of rain collection. Yeah, I don't know, Randall. I didn't get into all that. I was just like looking at digging here right on my parcel, but I got nothing here. Um I have the collections, I have the place down over, the river down here I can hit up, but I'm not too worried about the water up here because I have plenty around me I can get to. Plus my collection system's pretty badass. My filtration system's pretty badass, let me put it that way. Oh yeah, bad dream for sure. Having water running through. Randall, good seeing you, sir. If I don't catch you, we'll catch you later, my friend. But no, having the filtration systems and the collection systems is nice. That way I don't have to do anything else. I just let the good Lord provide it. Except I filter the living daylights out of it to get it into my containers to use. It's quite nice. It's quite nice having that. And it's behind the house. I really do wish I had a stream or a crick um, to tap into, because at that point I would like to, in the mind space, mind dreams here, if I could have a property that had a stream on it, I would tap that stream not just for water, but I would also tap it for supplemental water. I would tap it for power, because if you get a good flowing stream and you put in a hydro generators are awesome. Supplement it with wind, some solar. You can run your stuff. I've done it for many people, installed those systems, and they live completely off grid, and they do amazing. ACR, I wish you were closer, because I have two of those freaking big caged water cells. Um, they used to have mineral oil in them for putting in the reclosers and stuff. And whenever we drain them out, empty them out, we just give them away. Um, I got two of them sitting at work right now. They just need cleaned out, Dawn dish soap, get a mop down in there and scrub it out real good, drain them out really good. You can get connectors that go onto the spouts on them to adapt it down or whatever. Set those up with a rain spout, flex pipe over in, install like cheesecloth and stuff on top of it to keep, basic particles out and stuff like that. Then when you come out, you put an RV filter in line as it's running. Does a good job. With that, you can take that off and you can set up a 35-gallon, like one of the olive barrels. You can set that up and set it up as a bushcraft type filter with sand and rock and charcoal and all that stuff. And filter that out, so you can just dump buckets of water into it as well to filter through that to go into your big collection. Those are like 275-gallon. Got two of them sitting at the freaking shop. I just throw in the back of the truck and two guys can offload them. Yeah. Location, location, location when it comes to water. I remember growing up, there was a well my parents had drilled, and they tapped into this water table, and we were kind of sitting down in a valley, a little bit like partially down in a valley. And I know they went down a good ways to get water, but we ended up getting one heck of a flow out of that thing. And it did well. It's still doing well. It's done great. And as far as I know, the people that own the house now and all that, it's done great for them. They haven't had to do anything with that. And we drilled that back in like 94, 92, no, 91. 91 we drilled that. So maybe it was earlier than that. Maybe it was 90. I think it was 90. We'll go with 90. It's hard to like conceptualize thinking back that far. It's like, man, I was just a kid, man. I was just a kid back then doing dumb stuff and didn't even know nothing about nothing. Ah, the simple times. Simple times. Good times back then. But yeah, I figured I'd jump on here, do about an hour, coming up on about an hour. Wait till that thing says I'm over an hour. Because I got other stuff I got to do. I don't want to do it. Tired of this shit, Grandpa. Tired of this shit, Grandpa. Plus, I got to reach out to Archangel, and I have to get back in touch with Mando because he tried literally calling me as I'm going live here. Jackson, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. But yeah, I gotta reach out to him too and make sure he wasn't setting himself on fire or something. That dude right there, I'll tell you. Friday, wife and I are out doing the grocery shopping, and he calls. He's texting me, and I call him, and I'm like, "What's up, man?" He's like, "Hey, are you home?" I was like, "Nah, dude." I was like, "Bro, grocery shopping. Why? What's up?" He's like, "I got something for you." I was like, well, he was getting shirts made for like his homies and stuff like that, and his dad. And I was like, "Oh, sure, come in." He's like, "Oh no, not yet, dog." He's like, "But I can pick something up for you." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Oh, I got you a tall boy Yingling." I'm like, "I haven't really been drinking beer, dude." He's like, "Well, poo." He's like, "No, he drinks non-alcoholic beer." But he always grabs his dad like a tall boy icy light. Well, he grabbed me a tall boy Yingling and was gonna pop by and have a tall boy of his non-alcoholic with me, but I wasn't home. So he left it on the porch with the UPS and packages and kind of hid it behind there so nobody come by and grab up my beer. So Friday evening for dinner, I had the tall boy of Yingling with the wife while we were doing stuff, and it was a good time. It was a good time. So I don't know that I've done this, but I think I probably should. I know that I know that Big Bearded Warrior and I know ACR have both seen what I was doing last weekend with the wife. No, it's not like that. It's not like Girth Brooks and Johnny Depp type stuff. Nothing there. It was cool. We started working on my bar, and we got it about 3/4 of the way there. So I'll probably end up throwing up a post with the pictures from that because that was pretty cool. Got some stuff to tweak with it, and I have some light fixtures to put in and stuff, but it's all but done. It's about 75% there. So I'll throw up a post with a picture of that because it's cool. It's cool. But we're still doing more work down here. Still have to do the theater room wall, get the TV mounted, do the electrical, do all the surround sound stuff, get that all pre-wired in. And yeah, then I'm gonna have a magnanimous boom room. Not that my drums don't provide a decent enough boom room, but any weasel. DJ Metalhead Mercenary, I talked to him on his live here a week or so ago about practicing blast beats when I'm drumming. I've never done blast beats. I've never had to, you know. So I sat down and was trying to do it, and I'm like, I'm screwing this up. So I just got to keep practicing it. The only way to get good at anything is if you keep practicing, right? Just like everything, all your training that we do as Minutemen, all the training you do as a prepared individual, you just got to keep practicing at it. North Carolina Highway Patrol, missing twin today. Um, he had a mishap with his phone, so he's kind of down. But Mama Bear reached out and let the homies know. So I'm passing it along here to anybody that hasn't seen Twin. It's because his phone got kerschmackled. But once he gets another phone, he will be up and running and back at it again with the Twin Arrows vibes, right? So figured I'd give that PSA out to you guys while I was here. And I'm wearing the North Carolina Highway Patrol shirt. I just realized that I look down and I see it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm wearing my NCSP shirt. I got a bunch of these different police shirts and crap like that. Different homies hooking me up with stuff. Or I've gone to do training at different facilities and they toss me a shirt or a hat or something like that. Got a bunch of stuff like that. And I decided here probably, I was like at the beginning of June. I cleared my training calendar for this year. I'm not offering any classes, any courses this year. Just taking a year off because, well, it's hard to get people to actually show up to class. They pay for the class and then it's going to rain or it's going to be cold or it's going to snow or it's going to be too hot. Then they don't want to train. Then they want a refund. Well, pre-register and get everything set up. All right. Well, I don't touch anybody's funds until after the course is over, just because I'm doing this long enough. I know, and I offer refunds, whatever. People just don't want to come to class. It's too cold. It's too wet. It's too hot. That's when you should be training. We all know that. We've talked about it. If it ain't raining, we ain't training. Well, it'd been raining, but nobody wanted to train. Nobody wanted to train. So I just said, heck with it. When I started setting up my spring calendar, I'm like, okay, I did a couple things, but no, it's looking like it's going to be wet and it's monsoon season and blah, blah, blah. And we had a crap ton of rain. Don't get me wrong. We had a crap ton of rain this spring. So I just said, you know what? Heck with it. I cleared the calendar for the year. Not doing any training courses unless it is private training. Then I can do that on a case by case basis. So is what it is. Gave me more time to get other dumb stuff done that I had to do. So speaking of dumb stuff, I'm an hour 5 in, and I appreciate all of you guys in the chat jumping in here and shooting the breeze with me. Archangel, I will be reaching out to you, brother. We'll be getting back in touch with Mando, just saying that stuff so I have it in my mind brain here because I don't have any hair. So the thoughts tend to just seep out the pores where the hair once was, all the follicles that are missing. Yeah, the memory just kind of goes out there. So I have to keep repeating stuff so it sticks in my mind brain. But appreciate you guys jumping in here, spending some time with me, shooting the breeze. Like I said, Twins' phone's down. So when he gets a new phone, he will be back up and running. If any of the homies hear anything, we will let you guys know while we're doing our lives or whatever. Or you'll just see the hairless Sasquatch just show back up and spreading his love as he loves to do. So y'all will see him pop back here at some point. Tune in for Whiskey Wednesday. I mean, we're going to be here, me and ACR, and we don't know what else yet. Don't know what else yet. We kind of jumped off our kilter whenever my hip was out and he was down with the flu. But to recap on the hip thing, it was like I was an 80-year-old man. Like my left hip was just, I couldn't take the stairs, nothing. I couldn't even get down here. So when I got off work, I was like limping around work. I tried the not the icy hot, the biofree shit and all that. Wasn't doing anything. Ibuprofen, Tylenol, wasn't doing much. But then when the rain came, poof, I was like, I had a brand new hip. It was amazing. It was great. Hasn't bothered me since. Normally it's my knees or my ankles from jumping out of perfectly good aircraft on fast ropes. But no, I was fine. It was about Thursday. Go figure, the next day. But not quite sure what we're going to get into here this Whiskey Wednesday, but we'll rap about it. We'll figure something out and we'll have a smashing good time with you guys on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, right here on this Dummies channel. And we're trying to line up some guests to come in with us and stuff, see who we can get the schedules to work out and stuff. No, I know yoga helps. It does. I do stretching and stuff anyway. But yeah, it was just a random freak thing. It was a random freak thing that the left hip decided it was going to act up because we've had potential rain here and it's raining all day today and I'm perfectly fine. Just the ankles and the knees are what normally get me, but they normally stay pretty good. They'll pop and they'll crack. I'll throw my Stone Cold Steve Austin knee braces on for a day and I'll be fine. But anyway, you guys take care. Have a great day. Stay trained. Stay blessed. Don't forget to apply the pucker powder whenever people need it. It helps. You don't have to have it, but it helps. It definitely does help. You guys be good. Be thoughtful. And yeah. Until then or the next time, folks. Metal out.